Shall we start the class? Okay, fine. So as you can see, today we are going to learn about the systems of bookkeeping and accounting information. So remember in the last class what we did? Anyone who is going to tell me about what we did in the last class? Something related to bookkeeping. Let me give you some hints. There were difference between bookkeeping and accounting. Yeah, Rajlakshmi, fine. Benefits of accounting in the last section. Oh, Nidima, can you hear me now? Is it fine? Am I audible now? Okay, fine. So I was just okay. Aishwarya is saying objective merits, demerits of accounting. Okay, fine. Yes. So let's now start with the system of bookkeeping. We in the last class we have already learned about bookkeeping and the difference between bookkeeping, accounting, and accountancy. And in today's class we are basically going to carry forward the knowledge of bookkeeping, and we will be learning what are the systems of bookkeeping. Fine. Okay. So what exactly we mean by systems? What is system? What do you understand the system? Basically, if I want to ask you. System something means the manner or the way or basically the framework that we do. Fine. Or the process basically, what we can say. I mean, it won't be the right thing, but something, system include process. So now if I have to include this with bookkeeping, so basically what I will be saying is system basically implies here the manner. The manner, it's N. Fine. So the manner in which we maintain books, because we know the meaning of bookkeeping. Books means the books of account, and keeping means how we keep a record of it. So the manner in which we keep the records of accounting in the books of account is regarded as system of bookkeeping. Let me repeat it again. The manner in which we record the financial items in the books of account is regarded as system of bookkeeping. Is it fine? The manners, basically what I am talking about, the manners. Now we have two types of systems. Now who is going to tell me about these two systems? Okay, fine. Do you guys know that we have two systems? Yeah, Ridhima is right, double entry. And the other one? Single entry. Great, great. Good, Aishwarya. So this is what we have here. Okay, let me recall it again. This is basically what we have learned earlier also. Identifying, measuring, recording, and classifying. Fine. So this is basically the bookkeeping. And thereafter, what we have is the systems. Rajlakshmi, do you want to say something? Okay, try log out and log in again. I think this is basically, the problem is solved out. Just do it once. Fine. Let's continue the class. Meritnation live class is there in phone. I'm not getting you, Rajlakshmi. Just try to log out once and then log in again. Rajlakshmi, can you hear me? You cannot view the screen. Okay. Just try to log out once. Rajlakshmi, if you can hear me, just try to log out once. Fine? Okay, class, let's continue with this thing. So as I just mentioned that there are two systems of bookkeeping. One is double entry and another one is single entry. Now, just clearly read these two names. Now, what exactly we mean by double entry? That means what we have here is basically double. Now, what does this imply? It means something like dual, or let's say something two, something like this. And what is single? It means one. Fine? Single means one and dual means two. Fine? So what do you guys know about this? Dual and one, what we are talking about, what is dual, what is one? Anyone who can talk about this? Dual, one. What exactly we mean by this? Here, dual or one relates to what thing? Recording in two places, exactly. Basically, Aishwarya and Rajlakshmi, what I was trying to hear from you was the thing aspect. If I write it like this, it will be aspect. So, dual aspect and single aspect. Dual aspect means what do you understand by dual aspect? Of the balance sheet, what? Actually, let me correct you in that case. I will be coming up to that. Rajashmi, can you view the system? Can you view the slides? Can you view the screen? Okay. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Okay. Don't worry. Just hear what I am talking about, and don't worry. This will be all. You can all access the things in the recorded version. Fine. Don't worry. Don't panic. You can have the recorded version of it, so you can view that recording after once we are through with the class. Don't worry. Everything is getting recorded. Fine. Okay, guys. So let me continue with this. We have dual aspect here and we have one aspect here. Now, which this aspect basically implies the aspects of transactions. If I right click transactions, fine. Now, dual aspect of a transaction and one aspect of a transaction. So basically, what I can say in layman terms, in this system we record the dual aspect of a system, and in this system we record one aspect of a system. Is it fine? Clear? Okay. Now, let's start with the first one, double entry system of bookkeeping. As we just had words about this, this means that we have two aspects or dual aspect, and this is the way in which we maintain the books or the records. And dual aspect basically here implies mean that we have, hi Samarth, don't worry, we have just begun the class, just concentrate from here only. So basically what I was saying is like dual aspect means that how we are maintaining the books in the books of account, and for every transaction we have dual aspect. Do you know this? Do you know about this? How we have two aspects of a transaction? Anyone? Two aspects of a transaction. Okay, let me give you an example. Suppose I think somebody is writing debit and credit. Okay, Aishwarya, asset and liability. Let us talk about this. Suppose I sold goods. Just read this transaction. Sold goods for rupees 2000. Now what is happening here? We have sold goods and we have received cash. So which are the two accounts that are getting affected here? Which are the two accounts that are getting affected here? Anyone? I'm looking for the answers. Sold goods to, okay, Ashwari is saying goods and cash. Fine. Anyone else? Ridhima, what do you have? Okay, stock and cash. Okay, fine. Anyone else? Samarth, what do you think? Sold good for 2000. I'm hoping Samarth will come up with the right answer. Let's see. Okay, let me give you the answer then. Here, both of you are right, Aishwarya and Ridhima. However, what we have here, when we sell goods, we say it is not goods account. We don't have any goods account. We have sales account. Fine. Sales account and cash account. The second one, you were right for the second one. So these are the two goods that are getting affected here. You can see here, sold goods for rupees 2000. That means we have two accounts here that are getting affected. One is sale and another one is cash. And the most important thing that you have to look out here is that both of these are getting affected by the same amount. Is it fine? No worry, Aditya. We have just begun with the class. Basically, what we started about is the double entry system of bookkeeping, and we are going to learn about this along with the single entry system. Fine. Don't worry, you haven't lost anything. Fine. So what I was saying here is like this transaction, we can see there are two accounts that are getting affected. One is sale account and another one is cash account. And both the accounts are getting affected by the same amount. Fine. So this is basically what I mean by dual aspect. Can you see this? Is it fine for everybody here? Okay, I think somebody is having, sir, I cannot see the media player is coming in between. Okay. Okay. Is it fine now? Rajlakshmi, Aditya, is it fine? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Great. I'm very happy for Raj Lakshmi. Now you can finally see me. No worry. Fine. Fantastic. So just have a quick glance over what I have written on this slide. This is a transaction. We have two accounts that are getting affected here, sales and cash, and both the accounts are getting affected by the same amount. So this is basically what I mean by dual aspect. Fine? Everybody clear on this note? Okay, fine. So let's now move to the other slide. As I just mentioned, this records both the aspects of a transaction. Now let's go for the characteristic. We were talking about the advantages, the disadvantages of double entry system. So quickly go through the characteristic. What exactly is systematic record? We have already talked about this. Come on. Let's start with the answers. Systematic records. Remember, we have learned about organized and systematic records. What exactly we mean by this? We know that we have already talked about this. Come on. Look, systematic records basically implies that when we maintain a records in systematic manner or in organized manner, we regard it as exactly, that's actually good, manner in which entries are done. But the manner should be very systematic. The manner should be very organized. And that is why exactly, the proper manner. So, in double entry system, what we do is that we maintain the records in proper manner. Since, why? We maintain the dual aspect. We maintain the consistency between the dual aspect. All of you know that we maintain both the aspects. Once we debit or once we credit the item. So this basically what we mean is that we are maintaining the dual aspect, and that is why we regard it as systematic records. Is it fine? It is basically based on principles, or we maintain it in a very chronological order. For example, the transaction that has been incurred on May 15 will be recorded first. Thereafter, we have transaction that were incurred that happened on May 16. Thereafter, May 17, 18, you guys must have done the ledger posting. So what we do is basically we are maintaining the calendaric year. We are recording the entries on the basis of the date or the chronological order. The second point is already clear to us, that we maintain the dual aspect. That means we capture both the aspect of a transaction. Scientific method. Now, why the scientific method? We are getting science in commerce. What exactly we mean by this? Anyone who can answer my question? What exactly we mean by scientific method? Okay, Rajlakshmi is typing. I can see. Someone is also writing. Let's see. What do you guys come up with? What is exactly scientific method? Something related to formulas, something related to principles. I'm giving the hints. Come on, think of it. It deals with certain basic principles. Exactly. Bingo. Samarth, bingo. Very good. Since what we are doing in double entry system is basically we are recording as per the principles. We have a set rule of principles. And that is why we regard this as a scientific method. Great. Good. And what exactly we mean by arithmetical accuracy? It means that when we do calculation, okay, fine. I will give you that point for that. Calculation, okay, fine. I mean, let me take you back to the next slide, the previous slide for you. Okay, I think this one. Now, as you can see here, what is happening? If this account is getting affected, now there is what I can say is there are two effects. The goods are going from us. We are selling the goods. So obviously, the stock of goods will fall, isn't it? The stock of goods will fall, and the cash will increase. Anyone who is not getting this point? Look, we have sold the goods. So obviously, goods are going from us, and the cash, we are receiving cash. So the balance of cash will increase, isn't it? Anyone who can challenge me, who want to challenge me? No, you are wrong. Anyone? Fine. Okay, fine. So in this case, what is happening? We have basically the indirect relationship here. So one is falling and another one is rising. So what is happening here? If I reduce 2000 in sales account, and if I increase cash by 2000, so basically we can say we have maintained an arithmetical accuracy. Since we are reducing the balance by the same amount and we are increasing the balance by the same amount. So there exists a arithmetical accuracy. Is it fine? Anyone, who is still having any doubt with arithmetical accuracy? Look, this one is pretty important because when we will be moving further to single entry, you guys will have doubt over this. Is it fine? Okay, then let's move to the next part. So we are already done with the characteristic, the systematic record, the dual aspect, the scientific method, and the arithmetical accuracy. Now let's move to the advantages. Now just try to draw the links between characteristic or advantages. Now listen carefully. Please don't go through the slide. Just listen carefully. Suppose you have a fat person in your class. Now that fat person is the characteristic of that, or let it be like tall person. Now, a person in your class is a very tall. He stands just at the last of when it comes to the assembly, let's say. So what happens? That guy is very tall. So that is his or her characteristic. Now, when we talk about the advantages, obviously, being taller or the tall person has their advantages. For example, it will be very easy for them to climb up, or it will be very easy for them to touch the ceilings. No. In the same manner, what we have, the characteristic and the advantages are just the interrelations thing, or one or the other thing. Fine. Now, as you can see, now let's get back to the slide here. The systematic records itself says that, okay, fine, let me start it from here. Let it be like third point. The scientific method, again, this is an advantage. Why? Since everybody of us who are following double entry system will follow the same principle, we follow the same rules, or we follow the same conventions or the concepts. So what we can say, the scientific method is a characteristic as well as it's an advantage. Fine. Again, you can see here the characteristic of arithmetical accuracy. Now it again brings the arithmetical accuracy as an advantage. Fine. So what is happening here? The characteristic, we can derive the advantages from the characteristic of double entry system. And I'm damn sure that you guys need not to mug up all these theory portion. Isn't it? Am I right or wrong? Do you guys think that you guys need to mug up all these things? Exactly. I do agree with you, Rajlakshmi. Okay, so it is pretty important, and the dual aspect, again, it helps us in comparative study. Now, how it is so? Or the dual aspect helps in maintaining the complete record of transactions. Since we know that for every transaction we have dual aspects, so obviously when we are maintaining or when we are keeping a track of both the aspects, what indirectly we are doing? We are basically maintaining a complete record of transactions. Isn't that? Similarly, it also helps us in comparative study. When we are recording the dual aspect, obviously we have that basically what I can say is we have that advantage, or we have that common platform over which we can compare two financial results. Fine? Anyone who is still having any doubt in any of the points, either on characteristic or on advantages? Samar, Rajlakshmi, Aditya, okay, fine. Crystal clear? That's great. Now let me take you through some other advantages also. Okay, now just look at these. These are some additional advantages. Fine. Now how do you think that it helps us in ascertainment of profit and loss? Look carefully. Look carefully. Since what we have is we are maintaining the two aspects or all complete aspects, so it will be pretty easy for us to ascertain the profit or loss. Why? Now the question is why? Again, I will say both the aspects are maintained, both the aspects are getting captured, so it will be pretty easy for us to know what the business has actually done, how many transactions has been done, how many transactions has led to what outcomes, and it will be pretty easy for us to find the actual profit or loss. Is it fine? Now once we have ascertained the profit or loss, don't you think it will be pretty easy for us to present the financial position of an organization or to interpret the financial position of an organization? If I say I have my business has made a profit of, let's say, earned a profit of 10,000, now it will be pretty easy for me to present the whole financial data of my business in a very proper record. So this will help my business, or this will help anybody to assess the financial position of a business. You see, every time these 2 points will be interlinked. If it is easy to ascertain profit and loss, it will be pretty easy for us to ascertain the financial position or financial vitality of a business. Fine? And if it is difficult for us to calculate the profit, it will be again difficult to us for basically ascertaining the financial position. Which one? Rajlakshmi, the fifth one? Look, it is pretty easy. I mean, when you are maintaining the complete records, as we just said, just seen in that statement, where we can say the goods were sold for cash of rupees 2000. Now, what is happening there? We have sale and we have cash. Now, when we are maintaining when we are recording both the accounts, when we are recording both the aspects in both the accounts, basically what we are doing, we are recording the complete manner. Our recording is complete. Now, once we have complete thing over there, so none of the transactions are getting skipped out. The accountant is recording everything and every aspect of a transaction. So what we are having is the complete record. Once we have the complete record, it is pretty easy for us to find the profit and loss. Suppose we have incurred 5 transactions, but the accountant has recorded only 3 transactions. We don't have the complete record. Now, is it possible for us to ascertain the actual true profit and loss? Is it so? Do you think? Aditya, I will be just coming up to you. Yeah, so that's why, since we are maintaining, again, every advantage of double entry bookkeeping is basically related to the characteristic. We maintain the dual system, so it ensures that everything is just intact. We maintain it, we have a complete coverage of the records, we record each and every transaction, we maintain the proper data as per double entry system, and that is why we have so many advantages of this. Guys, do you know that in accounting, in the real world, 99% of people follow double entry system? Anyone who was not knowing this statement, this fact? So it is most important for us to understand. If we guys are looking for, let's say, a future in accountancy, this is what we have to master on. So every time it remembers, look at my fingers. We have 3 things. Dual aspects. Dual aspect means that we have complete coverage, we maintain the complete records, we have the records in a proper manner. Fine. So dual aspect implies these 3 things. It is easy method as compared to single entry. Yes, exactly. We will be talking about the single entry just once we are through with the double entry part. Fine. Okay. Anyone who is still having any doubt? Aditya, you were having some doubt about the financial position. Listen, am I right or wrong? Aditya, you there? Okay, basically financial position implies where the business stands in the market, or what is the market value of the business, or what is the financial vitality of the business, or let it be how wealthy or how financially well a organization is. It is again determined by the profit and loss. Let me give you an example then. Suppose this is business X and this is business Y. Now I say this business has earned a profit of, let's say, 10,000, sorry, this is 10,000. And this business has earned a profit of 5 lakh. Remember, what I am talking about is this profit. So what do you think? Which business has a better financial position? Which business has a better financial position? Why? Are you sure? Ridhima, Rajlakshmi, Aishwarya, do you think? Why is the right answer? Exactly. Bingo. All of you are right. All of you are right, because this shows more profit. As exactly, I do agree with you, Samar. Since this business is having more profit, so this helps us in understanding the financial position of a business. Fine. Now, look at the 7th point. Now, since, again, I am getting back to the same concept. Since all the complete aspect, the proper maintenance of records are done, so it is very easy for us to minimize the possibility of errors and fraud. There won't be any frauds. When Why there won't be any fraud? Because we are maintaining the complete records of the accounts. It is simple. It is very simple. Guys, look for this. Just try to relate everything with the complete aspect, and the job is done. Is it fine? Okay. Again, now let's look at the eighth one. Since again the complete record is maintained, so management has a complete idea of good insight of what is happening in the business, or let's say what is happening in the firm. Since all the records, even a single one penny, if we are incurring that expense, we are going to record it in the books, and management will be able to understand if okay fine, this how much this is the amount of money that has been spent in raw materials, or let's say in stocks or in cash. This is amount of assets that we have. So basically, the management will be in a position in a better position if we follow the double entry system. The management will be in a better position to take decisions, to form different policies. Fine. And the management can look in the future, what is the condition, what is the present condition, what is the future condition, and accordingly they will be designing their policies. So this point is also again linked with the same thing, that when we have the complete records, we have the proper maintenance of record, it is going to help the management. Fine. And once the management is complete, is having a complete record, it again helps them to facilitate controlling. Now, what if the cost of production, suppose let's think it like this. If just listen to me carefully, guys. What will happen? Suppose if I am in the management and I think okay fine, to produce a output, I think the cost of production is, let's say, X rupees. Now, what will happen if, how you are going to monitor? If the cost of production increases, let's say, more than X. Obviously, this is a signal for the management to understand now the cost of production has increased beyond X. Now, this is a time that we should get into the context. So, again, this is accountancy that is going to help them. Since, again, the same thing, the proper maintenance of record, the complete record, and all the aspects are recorded. So, you see, when it is helping the management, it's obviously helps them in controlling as well. So, it is a dual aspect. Again, the planning as well as the controlling. The management will be in a position to understand this. Anyone who is having any doubt in these both in both the things, characteristic and advantages. See, guys, these are pretty easy. I mean, like if we learn the characteristic, we can interlink the advantages from the characteristic.